Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about the psychological issue of choking in archery. Okay, choking in archery is normally investigated at the level of elite athletes, but I want to emphasize to you today that choking in archery can happen to athletes at any level. You can have choking in archery happening at local level, at district level, at national or international level. Usually the factors that set an athlete up for choking include the level of anxiety that they bring to the performance, as well as the type of performance. So it might be a performance that's really important to them. It might actually be an Olympic gold medal that's on the line. Okay, but it could also be a situation where the athlete's very concerned to do well in front of a particular audience. So an audience of their peers, coaches, family perhaps. Perhaps the athlete has got their identity very much invested in their performance as an archer. Those things can all contribute. Another situation where choking can be an issue is where you're at a crucial point in an archery competition. So where the next shot is the one that might determine whether you win or lose. Okay, what is choking? Okay. Choking was defined in 1984 by Roy Baumeister from the State University in Florida as decrements in an athlete's performance. Okay, decrements, the reverse of increments. More accessibly, it was defined by O'Connor in 2004 as a situation in which an athlete performs below their ability level due to a situation that's fraught with peril for them, which causes their anxiety levels to rise. Magano, March and Morris in 2008 defined it as a situation in which an athlete fails to perform to their highest level because of high anxiety, which affects their execution of an habitual action. And that habitual action is a very important consideration, okay, because the habitual action is one of the key concepts in choking in the theory, in self-monitoring theory. Okay, so there are two theories that are relevant for archery and choking, and that is the explicit monitoring or self-monitoring theories of archery and the distraction theories of archery. Okay, so distraction theories of archery are fairly self-explanatory. You might turn up to a tournament and with all the best preparation in the world, you step up to the firing line and you're ready to take your shot, and suddenly there's an announcement on the loudspeaker, or a bird flies through your peripheral vision, or flag flaps. Perhaps you suddenly think about your competitor's score. What's happened in that situation is that you have taken away from a single focus on where you're going to send your arrow to a dual attention focus. And that's going to create problems because your attention threshold isn't going to be able to cope. And I mean, studies done in this, that it affects the way that you can make decisions under that sort of pressure, because of your attention threshold and the amount of information you can hold in your working memory. Okay, so you're distracted, and as Landers and others in their studies in the early 2000s suggested, an athlete can't be distracted in this situation. And archers, in fact for an experienced archer, total stillness is necessary and the heartbeat actually decelerates. Okay, decelerates. Now we know that when an athlete's at risk of choking, they might arrive in a state of anxiety to the tournament. They might have cognitive anxiety, they might have the physiological signs of arousal which suggest anxiety, so their mouth might be dry, their hands might be sweaty, okay, and their heart rate might be racing. So we need to calm the racing heartbeat. We need to avoid the distraction in order to avoid choking. So the other theory about choking which is relevant to archery is Sean Bellock's theory, and in 2004 Sean Bellock did a study of golfers, and it's very applicable to archery. There are some studies of archers, but there are a lot more studies of golfers choking than there are of archers choking. Okay, Bellock's study suggested that experts who had to take their time in executing a shot made far more mistakes than experts who took their shot quickly, whereas novices who took their shot taking more time made far less mistakes than novices who tried to take their shot quickly. Now this is explicit monitoring at work. If somebody is an expert, then they've moved the performance of the task from the cerebral cortex down to the cerebellum. So they've moved it from a point where they have to consciously manage each phase of the operation to a part of their brain which largely manages the operation through muscle memory or motor memory. Now that means that the body is skilled enough through practice to have integrated each of the steps that are required into a whole. Now if an expert at that point starts self-monitoring and breaking it down into separate tasks, then at each task there's a possibility of an error being made. And we can't consciously manage the physiological reactions of our bodies in something like taking an archery shot. We know that our muscles move 60 milliseconds before we take the shot. We can't consciously manage things like that. If we try to consciously manage, it gets worse. Now, what do we do about choking in archery? There are a number of tacks we can take. We can try mental imaging. We can try seeing the shot being taken successfully. We should make sure that athletes recognize the signs of arousal and anxiety and are able to manage them on the day. We can also perform positive self-talk so that instead of castigating ourselves over a poorly taken shot, we say, that's okay, and next time it won't happen in the same way. And that's important because one of the things we do know about choking is that once you've choked, you're more likely to choke the next time because there's increased anxiety, which increases distraction, which increases the tendency for self-monitoring. Okay, meditation, relaxation techniques have been used with the Italian women archers very successfully, providing that the shooting was done directly after the relaxation technique. Some archers have used music. I use a breathing pattern as part of a pre-shot sequence. Now pre-shot sequences are another way that we can try and deal with choking. Okay, I take a breath in for 4, out for 4, in for 4, out for 4, which has a calming effect. Okay, I hope this has been helpful in understanding choking and some of the things we can do about it in archery. Thank you.